Hey guys, welcome to the Stock Puck.
The SP.
Because we're your highest rarity in Weiss content. We have Jason, Alejandro, and Brandon with us. How's everyone doing?
Doing all right, Jake. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
So, most recently, we just had BCS 2023 season wrap up with their penultimate event, Worlds, happening in Japan.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of jealous because
Yeah.
it looked kind of cool.
Taking place from the leisurely time of 6 p.m. Eastern, going all the way up until 5 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jake, how long did you last?
I got all the way until like semifinals, and then I started conking out because the finals were taking a little while to start. And at that point, I had been up a long time to watch a lot of it.
Yeah, I imagine.
But Jason was awake to witness a lot of it. Because
he was playing Persona.
he was
I
playing Persona 3.
I was there for the whole thing.
And we had Alejandro with us as well.
Yeah, I fell asleep a little, like in the middle of actually towards the end of Swiss, I think.
Mm-hmm. But Brandon, you dipped out. You were watching with us. You dipped out like round 3.
Listen, it's mostly because
No,
no, what do you mean no?
he did not.
No.
When did he dip out?
Brandon left way earlier.
I thought
Justin was here till like 3.
No. I think he's at round 3.
Oh, round 3.
Round
Oh,
three,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I thought you meant 3 o'clock.
No.
I'm not
round
that
3 of
crazy.
like Swiss.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got to witness not 1, not 2, but 3 Quince players just completely eat it on stream.
Yes, the very known statistic that's been going around Weiss circles has been quintessential quintuplets was showcased 6 times on stream
Yes.
between English and the Japanese WGP event that happened that
Correct.
weekend,
Correct.
and it lost all 6 of those matches.
Yes. They did.
Which is an insane statistic, which
Stage
just means that Quince lost 6 coin flips in a row, effectively, on stage or on stream.
Yeah. So I mean, it's unfortunate because I know, especially the first 2 really were just like unbelievably unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Because what really happened is that we just witnessed Weiss being Weiss, and it was like, hey, you go to attack, trigger a climax. Hey, you go to do an effect that mills from your deck, hit a climax. You're like, all right, cool. Try to do my climax combo effect to draw characters, hit climaxes. And you're like, all right, I guess we're just
Yeah, I mean that first one was the Itsuki that we saw, and that guy just was not having a great time.
Yeah, we watched the Itsuki special where it hit like that maybe 5 to 10%, where it's just not gonna work. Everything's going against it.
And then the second one we watched was the
Nino.
It was Nino versus, I believe it was Slime.
No, Adventure Time.
No, that was the Ichika player that played against Adventure Time.
it was Avatar.
It was
that?
Nino versus Avatar.
I thought
Nino
Ichigo played against.
No, Ichika played against Adventure Time because of these.
No, Nino did because remember we saw him get Demon Sword from the Finn and Jake player.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it was Ichigo
You're
who
right.
played against Avatar, and so did Itsuki. Itsuki and Ichigo, I think, both played against Avatar. Or Ichigo was Hololive. Either way, we did see Nino and Itsuki, Nino, Ichigo all on stream.
And it was just unfortunate because some of the games were either not even close or they were very close. There was like nothing in the middle.
Yeah, it was kind of a rough showing for the matches that they decided to show us for Worlds. But with this meta, it's kind of hard to see what the matches are going to come out to be. Before Worlds, I had everyone send me predictions on what they thought was going to be, the top for Worlds, just for us to make a small speculation on what was to happen.
Sure, yeah.
Everyone sent me the triggers of which they thought was going to top, except for Brandon.
Oh, listen, it's because I sent mine first, and I was like, all right, these are probably just gonna be it.
So in 5th through 8th, Brandon had 7 Deadly Sins. That could have been one of 2 decks. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm imagining a Sokka build because without that card, does that deck exist?
Not really, no.
Hololive. That could be like one of 7 decks, Brandon. And Azure Lane. I'm assuming something 6 bar plus.
Well, it's Brandon, so it'd be 8.
Oh yeah, 8 bar. And
Call
then
them?
in 4th place he had Overlord. In 3rd place he had Slime. I'm assuming Standby Gate.
Yeah.
Hololive, once again, one of 7 decks, but I'm imagining a Gura pile. And then Slime, I'm also assuming Standby Gate again.
Yeah.
Jason had AZK. Is that supposed to be AZL?
Yeah, I think he meant Ageline.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's Azure Lane.
Yeah.
In 5th through 8th.
I'm pretty sure Jake cheated here.
What do you mean?
I don't know if he was putting a prediction down or that's what he was. That the result at the very bottom.
That's the
At
that's
the
the
very
result.
bottom,
That's
that's the
that's
result.
the result.
This guy was cheating.
That's
I
the
knew it.
result.
I knew it. Guys, I changed my pick list too.
So in
everything
5th through
in the result.
8th, Jason had Azure Lane bar door, Hololive 8 door, Hololive standby gate. Then Quince
Pants.
8.
Read it as it is.
Then Quince 8 door. Then Slime standby gate.
Pants.
Overlord door bar. 7 Deadly Sins 2 soul gate.
Pants.
And then Slime standby gate.
Pants.
Swear to God, Jason.
And then Alejandro had in 5th through 8th, Hololive 8 standby, Quince 12 standby, Overlord door bar, standby, Hololive standby gate,
Pants.
Quince 8 door, Slime standby gate,
Pants.
Slime standby gate,
Pants.
and then Hololive standby gate as well.
Pants.
And then for my predictions, I had in 5th through 8th, Avatar bar standby, 7 Deadly Sins, Stock Soul Gate.
Oh, look! Remember to read now. You did good. You remember to read.
5th, still in 5th through 8th, Quince 8 standby, and then Azure Lane 8 bar. For 4th, Hololive 8 standby, 3rd, Slime standby gate, Overlord door bar, and Hololive standby gate at the top. And then for our results, we had in 5th through 8th for Worlds. In 5th through 8th, we had 2 Slime standby gates, 1 7 Deadly Sin stock soul gate, 1 Adventure Time standby gate. In 4th place, it was Hololive choice gate. In 3rd place, it was Avatar The Last Airbender bar standby. In 2nd place, it was Slime standby gate, and in 1st place, it was Hololive choice gate once more.
So
This was out of 56 players. If you guys wanted to know.
Yep.
Also.
yeah, so honestly, like I think on average, not barring like what was it, Georgia, New York, and I think California from last year, that was about the average of most tournaments. So like it was a decent size.
So we, I mean, Worlds is always around the same pool of players,
Right.
every year. It's always going to be around that 40 to 70 range, just because of that's the amount of invites that go out.
Sure.
They do cut Weiss as one of the games for a couple of these places. Like Puerto Rico does not have a Weiss qualifier. But that's just because the limited number of players within that area, it's not worth them to run a tournament for 9 people.
Right. Exactly.
So they have cut, Weiss spots. They've also cut other card game spots in for these BCS seasons. But we were all kind of within the same boathouse of being wrong here.
We were all wrong.
Okay, listen, it's mostly because no one really thought Adventure Time of all decks was gonna just make it.
Well,
All the
so it's that, and me and Jake would have been right on at least the winner, if they didn't go with choice
Yeah.
as opposed to standby.
So do we? I'm guessing. Do we know the deck list? Do we have?
All the deck lists are found on Weiss Time.
Okay.
For the top 8s, there are some other deck lists for the other 56 participants, and there they do also show their Swiss record here.
Okay.
Did you know? If you didn't know, the 7 Deadly Sins player did go 6-0 in Swiss to then get a 5th through 8th.
That is absolutely wild.
That's so tragic.
Instead. So
Man, I can't imagine going that well in a tournament, being the first seed, just to go and lose
Mhm.
5th or 8th.
Hey man, it happens.
It just happens. It shows you that your spot is not secure no matter how you get into top 8. So these decks, Hololive was the biggest surpriser to me because it just showed that like it didn't need to crutch off the standby.
Yeah, I mean, so like the entire like BCS season, right? Like every time you saw like Gura, it was generally accompanied by Oski in standby, right?
Or some form of standby.
Yeah. Only in like the last few tournaments we may have seen choice, like the Cali come through.
Yeah, and then like some doors were making their appearance as well.
So it's not like this deck came out of nowhere, but it was definitely not the one we were expecting to see
Mhm.
at because as Jake read off, we all said that it was going to be standby pants for Hololive. So none of it, unlike some eight standby, but no one here anticipated the choice standby.
Mhm.
I mean the
Yeah.
choice pants.
No, not at all.
I mean, a lot of people gave credit to Hololive being a very good package, and I don't think anyone can disagree otherwise. But a lot of people thought that the only way for that deck to thrive was to abuse standby.
Yeah.
So like that's why Luna was so oppressive, because she's a level 0 on board. You can't target her with your Adachis. Your anti-change counters are just not great for her. And so like people thought that you need to abuse standby with Hololive for Hololive to be good. Oh, well, I have to get my Ame out at level 1 to try to take advantage of her without paying stock from level 2. I have to get my Gura out on level 2 so I can be more stock efficient and have hand and have more resources going into level 3. It just turns out you play the good enough package all over, you don't need the accompanying abusive ways to get these cards out.
You don't
which
need
are,
to cheese them or anything.
They're also just going to see subsequent hate by turns of just like someone's going to have the anti-change and then you wasted your entire standby trigger. So like the deck's just like on its own an extremely efficient way to end the game. Very good. It's streamlined. And so like you look at the choice gate deck and it's just like it's got most tools to deal with a lot of the meta, and it's going to just get its way there by finishing you at either late 2 or early 3.
So, I don't agree with the fact that they thought they were crutching on standby. We talked about this before, and it's more like less of the fact that standby isn't that deck is still, I think, probably out of the two the better. But I think the reason why is that they can get more damage output if they play it more like a 1k1 versus a standby board. Because your standbys where you're melee, like all that's still really good. It's easier to triple Gura in that deck. Triple Gura normally is lights out from base level 2. I think it's more along the line is sometimes if you can't get the lucky standby hits, you start to fall behind in damage. So if you start playing a 1k1 deck, you don't really fall behind in that damage anymore.
I agree. I do agree with that. The extra range, the extra power on board is all important. On top of that, the level 0 game is much better than what Oskigura can provide. Just because, like we said, that deck just dies. And it dies because you have your Lammies. It dies because you have to have 2 dedicated level 0s in Oski, just to kind of just like recycle all of those things. So it's like you're opening up those 2 spots just in Oski alone, just to kind of make your level 0 game a little bit more fleshed out. And I think there's not too much overlap in the lists, if I remember correctly.
And the lists that were there in both Caligura lists that were there were very slight differences, but not a whole lot of differences.
Just playing the good Hololive cards, jamming damage where you can, and then trying to finish the game with Gura is not a bad plan in any way.
Because I'm trying to check out the actual top 8. So we all kind of agreed that the 2 like biggest decks that were going to probably show up the most were going to be Slime and Hololive. I think we're all kind of right.
We were Slime. From what I've seen so far,
They said Slime was 14 of the decks.
Yeah, Slime was 14 of the decks. Hololive, I think, was 10.
It was like 9 or 10 or something.
That's
like that.
actually
10, and then the next was it Avatar, but I think that was at like 2.
That's insane, actually.
And if you really think about it, that is 56 players, which is seeing something like
24,
that. At
24
that's
of the
a significant
56.
That's like pretty significant. But Hololive and Slime were the biggest ones there.
They said there was a bunch of quints there, but there was multiple different quintessential quintuplet decks there. So like they can't.
Well, yeah, we saw 3 of them.
Yeah, we saw 3 different quints decks in the first 3 rounds.
Okay, so I've seen so far like 4 Avatar decks so far that I can see. So that's still very low, and I think that might have been the second. If not, it was 7 Deadly Sins. It was one of the 2.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So like you had beyond the top 2, there was a very diverse range. I mean, we had Adventure Time top again. They can't keep getting away with it.
It was the same player.
Yeah, I know. It was the same player who
only one
topped
guy.
in California.
Adventure Time keeps just put a wrench in all of our top 8
Someone
predictions. This is
messaged
insane.
me because I've been saying I think I might want to try Adventure Time for Springfest, and someone messaged me like, "Did you know something about this?" And I was just like, "No, I just think the deck's fun." And they were talking to me, and they're just like, "What about Adventure Time is so good?" And I go, I don't think there's anything that's super standout about Adventure Time. I think there's one player that's absurdly good with Adventure Time. That deck just like is more traditional in a standby sense, that it's going to try to standby out your 2/2s and, stonewall board. But then once you get to like your finishing turn with your Finn Jakes, just like the damage output on it is so regular that you can just immediately get finishing value out of it. So it's just like I like what that deck does. It doesn't feel super oppressive to play against. It still loses to your generic standby hate. But it still has a lot of resiliency to it still anyway.
I mean, yeah, that guy was popping off on stream.
Yes.
I mean, we saw him play against. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, he was playing against the Nino, and
He
that sword just. I would imagine the Nino player saw that sword get played. If he didn't know what it did, he read it and he was just like, "What?"
Immediately started packing up cards.
It does what?
well, not even that.
Well, I mean, it sucks because he keeps having to play like his 3/2s.
That, but also like the Adventure Time person was just canceling.
Yeah, he was just canceling. I think
really well.
I think I saw him like triple cancel like
I think it was two turns in a
two
row.
turns in a
We saw him
row.
triple
I'm
cancel.
I'm like, man, that's I'm like, you can't really do anything against that.
Yeah.
That sort of thing will just happen, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's the nature of voice. So it's just like you can play as out of your mind or have the play set up, but if you're not dealing the damage, if the damage isn't resolving, then you can't get anywhere in that game. But props off to the AT guy. He went with his gut. He went with what he knew how to play, and in Worlds he almost got all the way. So just like something for you to watch out for. He wins 2 more matches instead of loses in top 8. He could be our champion. He could be our champion for 2023. But I think what we saw this year was absolutely was really fun. The thing that a lot of people are now paying attention to.
Was it fun? I don't think that was fun to watch.
The thing that people are now paying attention to was, did anything really happen to Slime?
Yeah, no, 100%. I still think it did. I think the thing is, we saw it on stream though. It's like it's a standby deck. It does what a standby deck does. The problem is that if he hits well, they win the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, man, we saw that
Just
one.
what it is.
That one game where that guy he plays his standby, brings
hits-
out a
he-
Muron, then
bring-
he hits a standby off
He
of
brings
one of
out
his.
a second Miron.
He brings out another one, and
Yeah.
then and that's it.
I
Like,
think
it was like,
that's just what it is. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's like if you hit your high roll on it, you win you win the game.
So like I have to look at it this way. It's like people have asked me, has the deck gotten better with the bans? And I go, no. By no means it has not gotten better. With the old deck, you could play a 47 card deck because 3 of your level 1 combos went to memory. And on top of that, it was hyper consistent.
Yeah.
With the new deck though, the ceiling for the ability to end the game early is much higher for you to attain. So like you standby out your Mirrans, you high roll on some of your twin drives because they have free. Your level 1s have free twin drive for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
You high roll, you get 2 Mirrans out or a Mirran and your back row Shuna. You go into the next turn with 5, 6, 7 stock. There's no reason that on level 2 you really shouldn't be missing that triple board with the amount of resources you have from everything else.
Sometimes you don't need to.
You don't even need to, but chances are you're just able to get it. And then with that, you're just gonna accrue the value, keep getting that stock, keep getting your hand resource, and then by the time you get to level 3, they're sitting at 3-1, 3-2, 3-3 because you've just stonewalled them, and then beyond that, you have a plethora of off finishers in your hand. Shion's just a deal 4. Benny Maru's a deal whatever +1
or on board
because you can hit your standbys.
Yeah, they might have just already be on board.
And then Millims are just immediate clock kicks, symmetrical on both sides. And then what they did was they took a page out of the 8 standby book of Slime, and they just played the level 3 Benny Maru from set 2, the one that when it reverses a character, pay 2 to deal 1 damage. Because they understand how big their board presence is and how much that deck can take advantage of being ahead.
They don't even use it for the deal 1. It's mainly just for power.
It's a power pump,
It's just for
but
power.
like if you have the ability to to continue to go further,
That's what the Draco Buster's for.
there's no reason. And like Draco Buster's
is
an
that
absurd
is what
card.
Draco Buster's for.
Draco Buster's an absurd card, and it's got so many ways to end the game. Slime is probably going to get hit in Springfest
They're
again.
just gonna hit the Shuna. They're gonna make it a pick 3. Hit the Shuna because Shuna needs to go. I've been playing against Slime recently, and the fact that I was making Ninos go to 15-5s just to tie the backup.
Tie?
To tie the
Just
3K
to tie
backup.
the 3K backup. Yeah.
Yikers!
It
All
would
right.
I had to get them a 15-5 so they could tie.
I
I mean, it was really easy to do, but the fact that I have to think about like, wow, I got to make this go to a 15-5 so I could force the backup out of his hand.
Yeah, there's tons of things that, happened at Worlds or didn't happen at Worlds because a lot of one thing that all of us had on our top 8s, Overlord.
Yeah.
Actually, very surprised.
What happened to Overlord?
Maybe I just didn't feel like playing it.
It didn't feel like playing. So they said
do we have anybody who brought it?
they
From what I
said
saw-
they said on stream that apparently 2 players brought Overlord.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are Overlord. I mean, listen, the problem is that they're playing Shuna. It's really hard to deal with Slime's board with that Shuna there because you have to set it up a certain way.
Yeah.
To
You
deal
have to
with
have-
that board.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You don't want to set it up a certain way because now you have to
You
make
have
it
to
so
throw
that
you have to throw your goats a certain way, right?
Well, because you need to put it one. Now you need to put out 2 Einses on level 2.
Mhm.
One sets up one marker, and the other one sets up
The rest. Yeah.
so that you can kill Shuna first, and then kill the rest of the board.
Yeah, it's rough for those hexproof boards.
And I get why they wouldn't play. I wouldn't want to bring it to.
Luckily they don't have to deal with like Sword Art Online that can also
people
have
played
it
it.
as well.
A lot of people brought it.
They did say that there
a
were
lot of
Sword Art
people
Online.
they were bringing a lot of Curiosinas.
But there was not, too much showing from those decks.
Well, one of them was playing Alice, Yuki, and Curiosina. I don't know what that guy was thinking.
Oh,
but he
that
on
man was
something.
cooking. He cooked.
I mean, there was a list here for Airfueta that was 2 soul pants. I said, "What are you doing here?"
Wait, hold on. What did you just
2
say?
soul pants.
Pants?
Yeah, it plays the level 3 Shea that at the end of its attack, it reveals its top. It's a soul sign. It burns 1.
Oh, so they're cooking.
I mean, that is one of the 3 finishers that I've seen that deck be played with in Japan.
So like with Worlds wrapping up, I think, the meta's, in a better place before they had said things. But I think there's still more to be done
Yeah,
going into Springfest.
Gur gets hit to 2. Shuna gets put on the ban list.
Clearly, Quince doesn't need to get touched at all.
It doesn't.
No, not really.
No,
No.
it doesn't. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
really
nothing.
too.
There's nothing egregious that it can do.
Like even like the
It's just a good
the-
deck.
The quote unquote broken 12 standby deck.
It's just a good deck.
No, it's no. It's,
If you're gonna knock on a deck for being relatively consistent, it's just like then most of these decks should be banned.
Yeah, Brandon.
True. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I get it.
But so on that side, we have decks that should be hit, but like we know that between the Japanese meta and the English meta, Overlord's a completely different beast. So like since it just didn't show up, like
I think it's just because Overlord is played the way Japanese likes to play it.
mhm,
Well, versus here, it's not the way people like to play it.
not the way.
Well, like in Overlord,
Because that deck has still still continues to get tops in that meta.
That's
In
true.
Japan.
It is like almost
I think it's
consistently
because it is a slow paced deck, and that's how sometimes they like to play in Japan. And here, we'd prefer if we can put our Mirons on 2-1, or we can play 1K1 Gura and just deal a lot of damage.
we just want to push. Sometimes you got to force your opponent to cancel force. Like
if we can somehow end the game on like turn 2 or turn 3, I think we would try to.
we did, we did with Sokka.
Also very surprised like just how well that deck actually really showed up. But hey,
I mean the deck has proven to have a fundamentally broken card that Weiss clearly does not agree with the playstyle with how they dealt with IMA. But I think they haven't seen an encompassing package around Avatar enough for them to say, I want to ban this card.
Well, also remember, Soccer hurt yourself.
Sokka
That's
does
also
hurt
true.
yourself. So like you
Ayana
can't,
put herself out for free.
yeah, you can't do it at 3-4, 3-5, 3-6 without you detrimenting yourself
Yeah.
to very much try to lose the game if you don't end it.
It's why these
Or you
decks play
lose the
burn
game if you
backups.
use it.
yep.
Um
That's why decks play burn backups.
So-
yeah.
Also
To
true.
deal with Sokka.
Yeah.
So like, Weiss, I think they don't want people attacking 4, 5, 6 times on level 2 and level 3 turns unless like it's a restander or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think,
Even then, you still have to high roll.
yeah. I think like they're never gonna design another card that summons a card when it leaves like that again. I think they've kind of figured it out and said these are the cards that kind of abuse, and if it happens, it's by accident.
Yeah, next time put on a drop searcher.
Next time, just say
Put on a
have
pay
it.
one pitch one.
Next time,
Stop.
just have it say enter rested.
No,
Like
that's
Ew.
not fun. We want to pay one pitch one. Even then, that's still too much.
Like it's one of those things where it's just like I think Avatar is sitting in a
Well,
really good
that
spot.
was the thing. I think the Hololive one summoned the Ayame rested, but the problem is Ayame summoned 3 other copies of her unrested.
Yeah, something around that.
Sokka summoned
it had a-
rested,
it
but
had
it
a
pings
marine.
you.
Yeah, I think that they're
mean-
not going to design another card.
I mean,
like
I
that.
agree. Listen, stand buying into a Sokka on level 0 and then letting your top get the combo off because you played the bar out.
because of reasons.
because you
like,
played the bar out.
yeah,
You put
yeah,
the
that
bar
was
out.
that was gross watching.
It happened. Like
yeah, it happened at Worlds.
I mean, I played against Tucker and he's done it to me. You play the bar thing just to push for damage, and you're like, oh wait, watch this. I stand over my Sokka and put a top out. Top combo.
So, with everything wrapped up on the BCS side of things, we had a stream a month ago or so, something around there,
Correct.
announcing Springfest.
Well, and 2 Love Life sets.
Yeah, lucky you, Jason.
Okay,
I just wanna let you
yeah,
know
let's get this out there right.
that
right
did
now.
that did happen.
All right, well, Jason now has a nickel for every time a Love Live set has been announced in 2024, and so he has 2
I have
nickels.
2 nickels. I didn't know. It's weird,
It's not a lot.
but it's really weird that it happened.
It's weird that it's
Twice.
happened twice
It was
In one stream
in
too.
one stream.
Those are only 2 things they announced. Too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
they
That's
didn't
like-
announce
that's like-
anything else.
That was
no.
like the worst part. That was like there were no other like set outs. It was like 2 Love Live sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they definitely
Everyone-
didn't announce
and was
another. They announced.
wasn't
Shauna. They announced Shauna that.
Oh yeah, Shauna too. Also, another thing that I called for before the stream started.
So
great.
Cannot wait for Anti Burns to
So
just show up.
So we have now 3 brand new sets to English Weiss for us to welcome.
Yeah.
At some point, they just said coming soon.
in
Shauna
the coming months, yeah.
makes sense because it's really
'Cause,
like after
Dengeki?
after Dengeki came out in Japan, they announced the Shauna reboot. And this is great because now we can use the Shauna cards that come in Dengeki in the Shauna deck. And then the Love Live ones are weird. I mean, the one anniversary is a bunch of reprints. The second one is School Idol Festival, and the reason why that one's weird is because some cards like interact with cards from other sets that we don't own yet. Like, especially in the anniversary set, there's a Kanata in there that interacts with an event that in a set we don't have.
Oh, that's.
They will simply cut those cards.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah.
So-
Absolutely. Just get rid of them.
For further notice, if there's more streams and more Love Live sets get announced,
Just
Listen, if this-
it was a foreshadowing.
you're gonna start seeing a lot of deck lists by Jason getting posted.
Listen, if
well,
that
after
happens,
they announced it, we were like looking around. People were like looking for Yos. Who's got these? And
Yeah.
people just started looking for Sunshine cards instantly
everyone went on the prowl
for
of,
Sunshine cards.
oh crap, the 9 people who have Love Live Sunshine cards hit me up.
Yeah, like well, it's because like one, we don't have the Yo restriction, so we could play Yo at 4.
You can play 4.
So like that's already like now like they just in Japan they just put her to 2. Like people are losing it because she's at 2 now. But like we have more.
Yeah, everyone's looking for their second Yo SP
the
now
second
in
Yo
Japan.
SP in Japan. Yeah, so it was an interest. It was the one thing I think least expected to happen. I make the joke every stream, like, guys, get ready for the Love Live set to be announced. I don't know why I was right this time.
It was the joke that you kept repeating that finally hit.
that finally hit.
It finally
It's like
hit.
the-
listen,
it was like the
if
dryer.
they keep announcing Love Live sets in upcoming streams to catch us up or get us cards that will work with School Idol Festival too, it's going to be a very long 2024.
Like we have all the way up until like June.
It's just
right?
like the dryer from Atlanta, the joke that eventually hit.
So it'll be interesting because like while I do enjoy like Love Live and stuff like that, it's just like one of those things that it's got to be something that comes out like every 3rd or 4th month for me to not get sick of it, because I think there's a lot more in Weiss that I would want.
They also could just pile it all in a bunch of months, like together. They could just rapid fire.
They could just make a clump in like
I have a
October,
feeling-
November of
I mean,
4 Love Live.
I have a
sets.
feeling-
They could just drop them in the same month.
Well, I think the 10th. I have a feeling the 10th Annie and the School Idol Festival will be released in the same month, just like they did with Bang Dream.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I believe it makes sense.
Yeah.
So moving on from the the set announcements. We finally got all of our dates for Bushiroad Springfest
We did.
2024.
Woo.
It kicks off with California once more. On March 2nd and 3rd,
Correct.
all the way up until June 1st and 2nd, ending in Chicago this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have they switched up the European dates. There's going to be 6 events there. The Asia Oceania dates are all kind of floating in the air right now. There's a lot of to be announced right now.
Well, that's usually
That's
pretty
they're
normal.
just trying to confirm the venues and stuff like that. But all
Yeah.
of the ones for North America, the ones that we will attend, a few of these, are posted. So they're starting off with California on March 2nd and 3rd again. On March 16th and 17th, that is Houston. Jason will be attending
I
Houston.
will be attending Houston.
On March 30th and 31st, we have Toronto, Ontario in Canada. No one's going to Canada from here. Then on April 6th and 7th is Puerto Rico, but it is null to us because there's no Weiss event for Puerto Rico.
No.
That's true, there isn't.
No.
I wonder why.
And then April 13th and 14th, we have Mexico. On April 27th and 28th, we
Hey,
have...
you want to go to Mexico?
No.
Oh, okay.
On April 27th and 28th, we have
I hear it's nice there, though.
Vancouver,
Yeah, so we
British
should go.
Columbia, in Canada. And then on May 11th and 12th, we have Duluth, Georgia.
Which is probably where you'll see
Yeah,
our
All
group
4 of
start.
us are going to
all
go to
of
that
our-
one.
We'll go
yeah,
that one.
it's gonna be. We're gonna try and get as many people from our actual friend group to go as
Mhm.
possible.
And then May 25th and 26th, it's the return to Weiss Plains.
Hate that place.
So
Hey, man,
it
it's not
wasn't-
Newark.
No,
I
That's
I've
also
never-
true.
No, okay. So there's a story behind me in White Plains because I played in these events before you guys played at these events.
Uh huh.
The last time I went, both times so far, I've gone to White Plains twice.
Okay.
Both times I've had terrible records.
Ah.
The first time I went 0-3 Vanguard, and then the second time I went 0-3 in Premium.
so
and then this time I went 1-3 in Weiss.
so Weiss Plains might be your
Weiss Plains
kryptonite.
is a
Okay.
kryptonite to me.
But you can get cheese fries at the event.
They do have a
True.
they do have
That was the
most.
most worth thing at
You get
White
cheese
No,
Plains.
fries.
here's
Yeah.
the worst thing about going to White Plains from us in New Jersey: the $25 bridge toll.
Yeah.
That is
actually.
the
Don't
worst
pay
thing.
it.
Oh.
Oh, of course.
True.
Don't
Of
pay it.
course. Of course. And have that on my permanent record for
Yeah.
an unpaid toll.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the worst part about Weiss Plains is like to get there, you have to take both the New Jersey Turnpike, which you're getting charged for, and then you also have to take the bridge that's a $25 toll. And so it's just like,
Man,
this
I
is-
hate White Plains.
this is awful. This is awful.
Why
The
can't they-
venue's decent though.
Can we go back to New York?
Oh god.
Can we go back to the Javits Center?
The Javits Center.
The
Oh,
Javits Center.
man, that
the
was
Javits
so
Center's fun.
goated.
The Javits Center's fun.
Yeah.
Listen, Alejandro and I have had the times at Javits Center. You and Vanguard and me and Weiss.
The
Oh,
Javits
man.
Center is fun. I could see Worlds happening there one year.
That'd be great. 'Cause we just-
I'd be super down.
Also,
for
it's so
that.
easy to get there. We take a train.
Yeah. Well, we're saying this, and then we're like, we don't see it from the perspective of like someone who lives from like San Francisco
Yeah,
to
I
like
get that.
to, like, Los
go
Angeles.
go into New York.
like they have to drive like 8 hours to get there.
Listen.
All flights are
I think also
ridiculously
the Javits Center is
expensive.
probably more expensive than where they're sending
Oh,
us.
of
in
course,
Weiss
of
Plains,
course,
you know?
of course. I think the Javits Center happened by accident. Like, I think they were just like, "Hey, we're looking for a venue," and Javits Center was like, "Someone canceled on us. Give us."
It was probably like
Give us the
I
venue.
think because it was still like COVID.
Yeah, that was
wise.
the end. So my
More like-
speculation was just like someone lost their deposit and they never ran an event,
Probably.
and they were just trying to fill the weekend.
Man, that was such a good time in the Javits Center.
Yeah, that was.
Well,
we did a
you're,
lot
you're
there.
reminiscing because that was your topic.
That was my topic. But like even so, it's just like you go to the Javits Center venue and it's just like there's room.
Mhm.
Yes.
You automatically know you have like enough room to move around. They had an outside part outside the venue that you can just hang out if you weren't in the tournament while people were playing.
Well, also the environment of being just in Center City, Manhattan, New York
exactly.
City.
And then
Whereas like, I don't mean to knock Los Angeles. I enjoy Los Angeles every time I go there. But like 1 year, it's going to be in Ontario, and you have to rent a car to drive 50 minutes out to your hotel and the convention center.
yeah.
Yep.
And then like when I went to Worlds, it's still held in this like centers area of LA in the LA Convention Center. But like I had to walk through a college like a college like recruitment recruitment event and like 2 other events to get to it because that place is a maze.
Oh,
It's-
And you're
lot.
like kind of close to downtown
I miss
LA.
the Javits Center.
You're kind of close to downtown LA,
Yeah.
but you're not like close enough to like walk to places. So you have to get like a $40 Uber to get to places.
delicious.
So like that's kind of my knock on LA. I've enjoyed LA every time I've gone for Weiss. But that's kind of it. And then so after us reminiscing about New York and what there is and is not,
And why explain so?
we have Rosemont, which is one that we all fondly
Who doesn't like Rosemont?
We look forward to
We-
this
we
trip,
look
like, all the
forward to
time.
going
This
to
is
Chicago
this
every
is
year.
this is one of our
Yeah.
favorite events to go to. One, the
venue.
The venue's very nice.
The venue's nice.
Yeah.
Food's great.
Food is fantastic.
The hotel
Uh,
we generally go to.
The hotel we get is really nice.
It's nice. You can kind of just be be there for in the lobby for as
Yeah.
long as you
Yeah.
want, and
It's
it is connected to the venue.
right across the street from the venue.
Right across-
If you don't feel like walking outside, you can take the
The
tunnels
Sky
to the
Bridge,
convention
yeah.
center.
Mhm.
well, why would you like at that point? Why would you not take the Sky Tunnel? Because
So like you have to like walk around and take 2 elevators to get there. That's like the only thing. But like other than that, it's just like it doesn't really matter.
This will be our first Springfest though in Rosemont
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
because we've gone for
So
both
we-
BCSs.
So for New York, Brandon will not be attending.
What a guy!
So-
yeah.
and
What is this guy?
Additionally, for
Sorry.
Chicago, Brandon will also not be joining us.
Brandon
there.
Li-
has.
li-
Brandon, that's fine. We don't
no,
care about Brandon.
No, see, it's
Well,
fine.
so it's fine just because he's not like it's not a 4-person event, right?
Well, it's convenient because there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? You're welcome. I made it
uh,
easy for you. That's why.
But you know, we Springfest is always something we look forward to.
Mhm.
I think this is fun.
It lets us kind of break out of the box of conventional meta because, like, unless you're really trying to go with a loaded lineup and win these promos, win these events, you can have fun while also testing yourself to put up results.
Yeah, I mean that's what you guys did last year.
So there's a ton of decks. There's a ton of decks that you can try out that you can kind of go into these events and be like, what do I think could work in an open meta? So like there's a handful of things that I think all of us are gonna try to put on the table to at least test. And probably just like show up and, you know, goober about in trying to get a result with this weird 4 climax deck that I'm sure Jason has in the works.
Macross is not English, so no,
No?
maybe.
You had to really think about it though.
I mean, you give me the challenge, I'll do it.
Listen,
Somebody will play it.
somebody's cooking at all times.
Yeah. Whether it be Alejandro with, you know, Fubuki, Aqua, me with my 17th Rent-A-Girlfriend
I'm your
deck or
chef.
something
Place
like
your
that.
order, and I'll give you an idea.
Oh no. You'll never know what you get.
But like with Springfest, what do you think you're looking forward to, or not looking forward to?
So I know in the one I already know what I'm playing in Houston because if I don't play a good deck, my teammates probably will kill me. That is still up for debate because I will have multiple decks with me when I go, and if one of them makes a comment, then I'm going to be, you know what, this is what you get. I'm playing 8 Pants Miku, so. If they're listening, they better be prepared.
The threat is on the table.
The threat is put on the table.
To
But
bring-
is that even a threat though? Like Migu tops in California like
In locals.
all the time.
In locals.
Yeah, California locals all the time.
Oh.
I send you so many top lists that I see on Twitter,
Yeah.
and you're never like, "Oh, thanks, Alejandro. I really appreciate it." No, it's just like ignored, and
No,
it's just like
I always, no, because then I see you in person later that day.
It's just red. You get the read receipt. From
But
him.
as
and
of
it's
right
like,
now
oh,
in Houston, I am playing Nino. Right now, I played Nino before.
And then your team will have what decks on
Who really knows? One of them is probably playing the cursed Chainsaw Man deck.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what the third deck is yet. Maybe Slime.
Maybe 7 Deadly Sins.
Maybe 7 Deadly Sins.
Maybe a third deck.
maybe some random Bang Dream list
Maybe Guilty Gear.
Or
or guilty.
Or
Ooh, actually,
the
that'd be
whole
kinda
lineup
fun.
changes. He goes AOT. I definitely play Miku.
Icy Tails dot deck.
That-
Everyone Icy Tails.
Oh, that
Everyone Icy Tails.
that
He
that's
was
plays
true.
AOT. You
What-
play
what-
Miku.
what
and Chainsaw
What if
Man.
I told you only one of those 3 Icy Tails is good?
Don't worry, Aki's just IC4.
Yeah.
Just Icy Tail
it's
four,
Just
yeah.
Icy Tail 4.
Oh, yeah. It's not Aki is the problem. It's the cigarettes that's in the
Yeah,
memory
of course,
that's the
of
problem.
course, of course.
Remember, everyone, cigarettes kill.
They do.
Smoking's bad.
I do look forward to playing Lico Rico. That does come out for.
That comes out in March, so
yeah.
it's going to be legal.
It'll
in
definitely be legal for the
all
other
of the
events.
ones that you plan on attending, which is Georgia, Weiss Plains, and Rosemont.
Bang Dream probably. Because
That's only
yes.
legal in Rosemont, though, right?
No, it's legal. It should be legal in both New York and Rosemont.
Okay, so it comes out in
Wait,
early May.
when's Rosemont?
First weekend of June.
What? No, when's New York? What's the exact?
The week before that.
What?
So the last weekend of May.
No, it won't be. It won't be legal because it got.
So
pushed
Bang Dream is only legal
for
in
Rosemont. So I'm
in
playing Bang
Rosemont.
Dream in Rosemont.
So you
because
have
I
that
want to play
one locked in.
Mygo.
So chances are you're playing like Lico Rico and
I'm probably playing
probably Georgia.
No, I think I'm playing Lico Rico in
New
York, but I'm playing Psychono in Georgia.
Oh, that does come out. That's right.
You have a third set for Psychono releasing.
I have it's Psychono set 3. I get to have the Mill 24 event finally.
Mhm.
So stupid.
So Jake,
Such
what are you going to
stupid-
be playing?
I am probably
Whatever I tell him to.
What are you telling to? Oh, boy.
for New York. I'm probably gonna play Slime. For Georgia, I am going Slime permitting. It doesn't have any ban.
He's playing Win Choice Slime. Is what I already told. Is what he's going to be playing.
Should it get banned? I'd probably fall back on Hololive.
No, he's got
for
Win Choice
Georgia. For Georgia, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. I kind of want to run back Rent a Girlfriend. But see how far that
8
gets.
Pants Rent a Girlfriend.
That's never happening.
Yeah,
That is never happening.
Let's go.
That is never going to happen.
Best girl. Let's go.
And then it honestly depends on what the vibe is for Rosemont, and whether or not I or we want to try as a collective.
I mean, so as we have discussed a very long time ago when we played in Atlanta, right? We were 10th place.
Mhm.
We made 10th place, and that was with Jake on Rent a Girlfriend,
Carrying.
carrying me on Hololive, and Jason on Kaguya, right? I know
One game away.
we were one game away, and also I think I know we have discussed this before, Jake. You may have discussed this separately with Jason. I don't think Jason was there when we discussed this, but like, do we want to step it up a little bit? I mean, we don't have to go like super try hard, right? Like we don't want to. I don't think, right? Like we don't want to.
You don't want to be sweaty gamers? Come on.
No, not for Springfest. Hello, we're trying to have a good time.
So I
okay.
have stood by this thought process where
Again, there's no top 3 mats. I don't want to try.
so actively trying in these events is how you take away the fun of the traveling for these events.
Well, yeah. So I'm not saying yeah. Let's start to sweat, but I'm
he
saying
wants
like
to step on our game. So like we had a third climax to all of our.
Oh.
He wants to add a third climax.
I understand. I mean, I could see myself, participating with a slightly better
Nina doesn't
deck.
count because she already plays 3 different game combos.
I could see myself participating in these events with a slightly better deck. But like it's just a matter of like, do I want to try as hard as I do, like trying to attain?
He doesn't want to play Chainsaw Man and then still lose the card captor Sakura.
This is true.
Well,
this is true.
well, so here's the thing: he'd be playing Chainsaw Man, but he wouldn't be playing Aki. Like,
No.
yeah,
like we would like it. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying let's play meta. I'm saying maybe as opposed to like tier 3 decks, maybe we go to tier 2.
Maybe shelve the Rent a Girlfriend.
I was really. I thought he was going from tier 3. We go down to tier 4.
I'm so down to go down to tier 4. I am immensely down to go down to tier 4.
8-2 Soul Bang Dream coming in.
But Brendan, you only have one shot at these. At
We already know
Yeah.
he's playing some form of bar.
No, not this time. No, it's honestly because there really isn't much coming out this year that I'm looking forward to yet.
None of the bars.
Listen, says the man who's been trying to cook up 8-bar Spy Family.
Listen, it's because I think the Anya 00, there's something there. I just don't know what or how.
Bar.
No, but no, this time legitimately, like it's probably gonna be 8 Pants Spy Family because the handler is just such a broken
All right, that means
card.
that event we go to at Brandon, I have to make sure I put everything in my deck that specifically bounces Fiona's, so he just doesn't have a good
Don't-
time.
Jason, no, this.
Oh.
Come on, man, don't hurt me like this. It's bad enough that you. What deck was it? That you
Bang
played?
Dream, I used the Tay and I killed 2 Fionas.
Yeah, you're
for
like,
free.
hey, so I have this card.
The
That's
baby killer?
The baby killer.
The baby killer, no.
Tay is really good. to use in this current thing because it deals with a lot of action. Surprisingly, this card that me and Tucker have made fun of forever. This card does deal with a lot. It deals with Keisha Bays. It deals with Fionas. It deals with Lunas. It's just good.
It's a versatile card for Stonewall boards that are level 1 or lower. Explicitly those situations.
So, and it's really funny because, yes, you'd be like, when would I ever use this? What if I told you some of the top decks use specifically Stonewall level 1 or lower?
It comes up more than you think.
I honestly, because I never even considered that card being real up until I
So it
played
happens
against
to
me.
you.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
the point.
this is the thing now. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna cry in the corner. But like, realistically, it's probably gonna be Spy Family up until something else comes out like later this year. Like I know like Ruby comes out later in June, so like maybe
Yeah.
for BCS I might switch it up. Who knows?
Oh, wait, does it come out?
It is.
It's yeah,
No, it's not June. It's
or July.
It's July. It's July. Because
It comes out in the summer.
It comes
Well,
out in
okay,
summer.
so after I was like, wait, maybe I'll play
Yeah,
Ruby then.
because Bochi comes out in June.
Yeah,
Boki.
that's what it is.
Boki the Rock.
Yeah, so like, honestly, for Springfest, it's just gonna be Spy Family, and then for BCS, I'll probably switch it up because I definitely need to like show my other decks. They've had
Stop
their
playing bar.
no. Okay, listen.
You better show up for BCSs because that's when I said your power spike is.
Yeah, you have to.
I said BCS 2024.
Brandon's gonna
and-
go against his worst matchup, the anti-burn.
No, he's gonna go up against his worst matchup, which is scheduling.
The anti-burn.
No, okay.
His
Well, okay.
family.
That yes, that's actually very true.
His worst
that
matchup
1/1 from Shauna
is-
just sits there and it's just like anti-burn.
Oh.
So with that, Alejandro, what do you intend on bringing to these kinds of events?
So kind of like you, I am planning on running it back. Aquafubu.
with
the-
upgrades.
with upgrades, absolutely. Since
Yeah,
we did
third climax combo.
since we since last Springfest, we did get the release of Hololive 2, which introduced a bunch of really good like cards in general. So that's something that I've been messing with a little bit here and there. Not too much, but
This goes to show that Hololive is good because those are two decks that I gave two Jake and Alejandro that year. Two decks that had a base platform, and I said, "Here you go. You play this. You played Botan Rushia, and you played Fubu Aqua."
Yeah, they were both really good. They have, I mean, Hololive just has a diverse package that you can
Just do
build around anything.
Just do things.
yeah, like you definitely have like the tools
I think it
to
was great.
kind of do whatever you want.
They're the only two
with
with my
Hololive.
ideas.
I mean, listen, it's all for the
has
sake
not steered me wrong.
that, and it's also for all for the sake of fun, right? Like we're just
Yeah.
we're just going to have a good time.
I will never forget that because I even played. That's when I found that I love the Kage door combo so much. That was that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What a combo.
But
I think we would have did better if I had the promos.
Oh yeah, clearly. Yeah,
But,
that would
No,
change
I
it.
mean
outside
I
of
mean, if Jason goes 4-2 instead of 3-3, we're top aided. We're so
Yeah.
top aided.
when the fact because remember Kage had had two-
Actually, no, never mind. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no,
Never mind. No, it was you. It was you the deciding factor on both of those.
there was there are these events that Kage got
Mhm.
that we didn't have before that event, and we found because I was like because we don't have shop promos around here, and I was like if I had those I would hit my threshold for my memory cards.
Instead of paying $20 for a shop promo.
Correct.
Yeah, it's tragic. Some of those promos are really good for decks. But you know, some of you just kind of have to work with what you have.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of like the Fubu Aqua deck, I don't necessarily know. I mean, probably play some sort of Quince.
Mhm.
Maybe bring a random Azure Lane deck in because I do
Hey, your 8-gate deck is still undefeated,
undefeated. Yep.
even after I picked it up.
You should definitely play a 2-soul Quince deck.
No, you guys just gotta.
you should play an
You should
8
use the
soul.
L.
You should play
The
an
L,
8,
yeah.
You should play an 8 soul Azure Lane deck.
Oh God.
It
I mean,
has-
if you really want to turn your brain off, that's exactly what you would do.
No, that's for me. There's no combos. He's just playing empty climaxes.
I'm just playing
And-
cats.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah,
Just
you-
playing cats.
you just
yeah,
play-
cancel
so-
your deal force.
They canceled the deal 6, and you're like,
I see.
Like, oh,
now what? And you're like,
all right.
huh.
Well,
It's-
gonna-
it can't shake.
Pack it up.
well, yeah. Just can you imagine?
I would love it if you go, all right, turn 1, you drop the 3 cats, play the 2 soul down, they cancel every attack, you go, All right.
All right, well.
You scoop it up.
GG,
All right.
GG, you got me.
or each one of those attacks
Lands.
is a level.
Yeah.
That would
They're at level 3 with 1 stock.
They're like,
Yeah.
huh?
you literally look at your
not
you're like,
catching up with
oh,
the
opponent
pants
like discarded 3 cards. Like, oh, there's probably another one in his hand. Well, time to
You got
gamble.
down to- you got down to 2 cards in hand, but you send them to level 3.
I mean, other than that, I just started messing around with the idea of a 8-choice Quince deck that uses the set 1 level 3 Ichika.
Is that the early play one?
No, that's the
No,
one.
No, that's a set 2 one.
That's the
Okay.
one that on cancel burn 2 twice.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a return to form for the deck. Because it started with Quince started with that finisher.
That's right. I remember now.
And now I think it's just like people are kind of realizing the shuffle deal is, while it's good, could also, just lead to more cancels.
Yeah, it could just lead to nothing. So, I mean, we talked about it during Worlds, while we were watching that.
8-bar Yotsuba.
8-bar Yotsuba. Listen, I'm not opposed to that either, just because like I think that deck is fun. I do have it put together.
I can't be trusted with a deck like that.
I do have it put together. I don't think it's the optimal one because it's playing the movie set finisher as opposed to
That was
The-
the Quinn set 2 one.
the set 2 one, which I know
Icy Tails.
which I know people have gone back to.
And
After.
it is a free play.
Yeah, I mean, well, because the thing is with the movie one is that it's kind of expensive, right? Like it's
It's pay to, I think, pitch to.
yeah.
Icy Tail 4, but the thing
It
you
also
gotta-
has an on-attack deal, though.
It has one outside of the combo.
the movie set one.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie
Yeah.
set one. Oh, the movie set one is like you can pay 1, pitch 1. I think it deals 3, but then it also has a pay 2, pitch 2.
Yeah,
So
like
it's like
so
so
like
much.
When
so
are
the-
you gonna have all of it?
so like the
Just
nice thing about that card specifically is just that that one of those effects, I don't remember which one, probably the lesser of the two, is not attached to the climax combo. So you still play it. You still play that card. You just don't play the climax.
I know we can play door. We have to play door bar.
What did you just say to me?
Hmm?
Door bar.
You want to pay
What
for
is
the
this,
Yotsuba?
Overlord?
You want to play. You want to pay for the Yotsuba. Just use Itsuki to fill your whole hand.
Just have 9 cards in hand.
That's it.
But so since we're still talking about Quince, right?
All right.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I was thinking at one point earlier today, I was like,
Miku needs a better finisher.
no, I was not
Oh.
thinking that at all. I
Okay.
was thinking,
I go
well,
to sleep with that thought.
well, listen. So first off, if we're going there, I'm glad that she's still in the mud. I'm glad she's still in the mud, considering the reveals we have so far.
I
for
hope she gets a stock swap and the video. Specifically, you need Miku traded cards.
yeah,
You must
specifically,
have 4 Miku cards on board to play this.
the Fumio them.
I'd be like, oh, all right, well,
Well, I guess I play the L.
but I was thinking maybe trying to put together standby choice. I was thinking about cooking.
But
I
you're
do
gonna-
not.
But you're
want
gonna
to
use the
partake
set.
in
You're gonna
that.
use this. You're gonna use this.
I was
set 1 Nino that stands
Yeah,
a
yeah,
card, right?
yeah. So you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Back when like Quince 1 came out, right? Since we did have bar choice,
Yeah.
at one point I did have standby choice
I think I had.
put together back then.
I had I had like bar everything at that point. I
I'm
had
pretty
bar,
sure you had like
I had bar pans.
you had so many of the girls put together
I
as
had-
well.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to just make a new.
Well,
deck
yeah,
every week.
that's
We don't want to talk about the rotating Quince shuffle sets that I
Well,
went through.
The nice part about Quince, especially in early days, was it was all like colored separated. So like you could just build the blue Miku deck while also
Well, no,
having.
they were not color separated.
Well, didn't like a majority of like the Miku cards weren't they in like
They-
either blue or green?
so
Yeah, they
so
Blue green, just like they are now.
so the thing is that back then, like there weren't too many cards that were specifically like name bound. Like they like Ichika
yeah.
cards weren't always like, oh, if you have another Ichika
It's the
or
suffering that these
if
sets
all
get.
or if all your characters are Ichika, right? Back then it wasn't like that. But as like we got set 2 and then movie set, like it became more I guess tribal,
It's
right?
actually kind of wild when you think of it that way, right? Hololive, right? It has 2 sets, but none of them are really name bound.
No.
I mean, some of them bond, but like none of them are like.
no to trade it, trade bound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
See, which is weird because it's like interesting because when you look at decks like Bang Dream,
Yeah.
Anniversary is gated to Anniversary. Even outside Anniversary, they're gated to each band trait.
well, like
even-
there's like some that are like bound to like getting gamers or 4th gen. or
How
stuff
many
like
cards
That.
in that set are bound to a
Listen,
But
it's
there's
How
not-
many cards in that set are bound to a trait?
so these
Maybe
yeah.
a half dozen.
Yeah, so- yeah, and Hololive, it's not like
And they're both pretty big sets.
yeah, they're both 150 cards, like 150 card
Like-
sets.
it's not like you have to play some of these cards to
Yeah.
succeed in like Hololive.
Well,
You
like-
know what I mean?
Quinn's cards like Nino cards say you need 5 Ninos on board to burn 2.
I mean that one level one that one that sits in the back row.
Yeah.
Like she only gives Ninos the
Ninos,
top
top
check.
shoe,
I think
yeah.
the trial decks for Hololive are more generation dependent, but
Yeah.
even then,
Well,
they're
maybe.
not.
Even then, I don't think because that's where the Miko came from, and Miko is a drop searcher.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Well,
so
like-
you're gonna, as my point stands, Hololive the big set is not trait gated, and that's what makes your set sometimes really good. Is when you have a bunch of sets and you're not gated to the trait, a certain trait.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm limited to Hololive characters.
Oh
now.
no! I want to.
Oh
play...
no, I can only search 300 feasible cards from
Meanwhile,
my
I'm like,
deck.
me and Tucker are like, we want to play Bang Dream. Why all these cards say Popping Party, Roselia? Where's the music trait? Please, for the love of God, give me something generic.
Well, they understand that Bang Dream, if they just gave you music trade, it would be too
right.
much.
But if we give Hololive the Hololive trait, it wins worlds.
It only had 2 top 8s at Worlds.
Oh yeah.
But with that, I think that's about all we have on this episode of the Stock Pot. One last thing to leave off on was this week, Brandon did release a brand new series.
I did.
Would you like to touch upon that a little bit?
Shut up, Jason. So the brand new series that I released was Weiss Schwarz. So we've seen across YouTube for the past 2-3 years ish now is that a lot of different people on YouTube, different groups have they've released videos talking about the different jargon within the game because we realized that Weiss as a card game has certain keywords like brainstorm, like change, like bond. But we have a lot of words that we use to describe certain effects because some things are kind of generic across the board, like Jason was just saying, like drop search. Like that's a thing that we coined because
Project Tornado.
Icy Tails.
Icy Tail.
Icy Tail, cigarettes. Like there's so many different effects that are across different sets that don't have a generic term or name to them. It's like, okay, let's actually go through all of them or like all the important and like known ones. Talk about the history, like where the name actually come from, because some of these cards are only Japanese and we haven't seen them in English, or they're so old people wouldn't know where it came from. And then just talk about what cards are out there because there's I don't know how many different Ricky effects, and then now we have Aqua Ricky because of Hololive. Thanks, guys. And it's just like, okay, like here's the history, here's the effect, here's why it's good, and just kind of go through all of this in like roughly 5-minute intervals. I wanted it to be like kind of short, like a YouTube short, but like obviously I don't want to have it be too short and not give you all the information possible. But we're gonna try and release them more regularly, and then
Right now, they're pegged to come out weekly at this point.
yeah, so we're gonna try and also group them by.
We have small groupings that we want to release them by, but they're going to be thematic as we go.
Exactly. So we're gonna try to keep like the theme relatively the same per grouping, and then as we release them, we'll try and get some feedback. Like this is gonna be a very new thing, so if you do see it, please check it out. Leave a comment or something. We'll try and change it up as we go, and then I hope you guys actually look forward to it. I'm actually having a lot of fun doing this project.
Yep, that's kind of what we have going on right now. As you see, we've released some gameplay. We have a lot more of that coming out, hopefully soon. And we have some other projects in the mix that I think we're all excited about. So if you've watched Weiss Schwarz and enjoy it, or you think you have someone who can greatly benefit from something like that, please share it with them, because I think this is something that, some people need to know when they're going into an event like Springfest, which is very new player friendly, where you'll find, people experiencing Weiss on the competitive side for the first time.
I just remembered one quick thing about Springfest that we were talking about that I just remembered to mention. There is a new time rule.
Oh yeah.
before there used to be an overtime period when time was called, and you got to play the 3 turns, or it was a 10-minute overtime wait, right, Jake?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Now, when
You played for 30 minutes
Yep.
with a 10-minute overtime of up to 3 turns. So 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Now, it is just 35 minutes, and if time is called, the game ends in a double loss. If no victor is decided.
It is done. Dunzo. Endo.
just Giving you guys a heads up.
And if you're both 1-1 for your team, both your teams lose.
Yeah, so please, if you guys are gonna go to time, it's okay to like say, all right, this guy has more damage. He definitely should win it. Like,
you can concede a game of Weiss at any time. Do not negotiate or barter anything in
you can
advance
decide,
for it.
but do not. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Do not negotiate for it. And please, like, listen. You should just always have a winner, because
You're plummeting both teams if you both
yeah,
decide to
exactly.
take the draw.
Because it's better to know, like, hey, that if this guy should win, their team can at least go on. But if you're saying no and taking the tie, that means both your teams are getting losses either way.
Yep.
And you're ruining a lot of the other people's records.
You're tanking not only their team, but what if their team traveled with someone? It's just like there's no reason that a verdict cannot be decided at the end of an outcome of this game.
I agree.
It's rough because you can't talk to your teammates while doing this because you can't converse with them. But you should be able to say within the confines of the information that you're given who the victor is from that game.
Yes.
But I think 35 minutes is more than enough time to
I
play a
agree.
game.
Yep.
And if you're going to 35 minutes consistently, I can see it happening once or twice maybe. But if you're doing that consistently, I think you are either playing against the slowest opponents in the world or maybe have to pick up your pace of play.
Yeah, Tucker.
Yeah. So with that, we can talk more about this rule once we've experienced it, once we've seen it, and if there's either positive or negative community feedback. But it's something that we will have to watch out for going into these events. So that's all we have today on this episode of the Stockpot. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.
See you later.
Okay, goodbye, soup.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed what you watched, feel free to like and subscribe, and maybe follow us on Twitter. Be sure to keep an eye out for more videos that we have coming out very soon. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.